No, it's not clickbait. I'm leaving. This is probably gonna be one of the last videos that I make in this office space. But it's not for anything bad. It's actually a really good reason. So I wanted to tell you guys about it. So my wife and I, we're moving. And this isn't something sudden that we've planned like overnight. It's actually been something that we've been planning for the last 2 years officially, and it's finally happening. Now, it's a long story of how we got to this point, and I'm gonna try to go into that a little bit on this video and sort of where we're going next. But first, my wife and I live in Charleston, South Carolina currently. And if you've known of Charleston, and if you haven't heard of Charleston, it's one of the most beautiful cities on earth, and I'm biased to say that. But the problem with Charleston is that there's so many people living here. It's extremely expensive in terms of affordability, in terms of if you want land or if you want more space. And you can kind of see where I'm going with this. There's only so much land. There's so many people moving here. And if you find land, well, great, you found it. It's really hard to find it. But also B, when you do find it, it's extremely expensive. And then you got to build a house on top of that. It's crazy. So my wife and I, we're checking out. But luckily, we're only moving about an hour away from where we are currently. So we're not too far out. As far as where we're going, we're moving to some family land that, like I said, is about an hour away from here. And this land is super special to me, but also to my wife. For me specifically, a significant portion of my life was on this sort of piece of property, and it's where my parents live. So it's home to me, and it's something that my wife and I, ever since she's met me and we've been out there, it's something that we've been chasing to find that same feeling out here in Charleston of that home, of somewhere we know we're gonna be forever. And finally, 2 years ago, we realized that's it. That's the place. And my wife and I have been married for 6 years now. We got married in 2019. We bought our first house in a town about 3 hours away from here. Super small town where we both went to college. And in 2020, I was working full-time as a videographer for a company, and that job fell through. And I didn't know what to do, but I was forced into full-time freelance, and thank God that happened, because it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. And that's crazy how life happens that way. Sometimes something that seems like the end of the world is actually the best thing that's ever gonna happen to you. So remember that if you ever go through something pretty difficult, chances are on the other side, there's a purpose and a reason for it. But I'm gonna get ahead of myself here, and essentially I knew that where I was at was not a big enough market for freelance. So we decided to move to Charleston, and we moved into an apartment in Charleston. And then about 6 months later, we moved into a little bit bigger apartment. And then 6 months after that, we bought a house just outside of Charleston. And then about 2 years after that, in 2023, we bought this house. So 2 years ago, we bought this house in Charleston. And the situation of moving to family land has been something that my parents have actually mentioned to me the last 5 years. But my wife and I kind of had our own idea of what we wanted, and we sort of chased the dream out here in Charleston. And 2 years ago, when we bought this house, we knew that it wasn't going to be our forever, but we didn't realize how quickly we were going to start planning this actual forever, if that makes sense. Sure enough, 2 years later, a month and a half from now, things are going to start moving. But you're probably wondering, Will, why the heck are you moving again? You've moved so much. What's not great about where you are? And let me get this straight. I am very thankful for the life that my wife and I get to live, very thankful for this house, and thankful for where we live. But I truly believe that everybody has their own desire and drive to go after what fulfills them and makes them the most happy. And that doesn't stop it where you live, and that doesn't stop it where you call home. I mean, you can be living anywhere, and if it doesn't feel like home, it's going to be important to you to find that feeling. And for some people, they can be nomadic and be wherever, but for us, we just want to be at home. And you can make home wherever you are. I'm not gonna get too into that, but everybody's different. And for us, we've realized that home is there. Growing up in the country and having space and having, that lifestyle, I chase after that. I miss that. I want to get back to that. And we want to be close to family. We want to have a chance for our future kids, whenever we have them, to have that same opportunity we had to grow up in the country and have farm animals and just sort of live that life. And it's a perfect place for us to start our next chapter and spend the rest of our lives at. And don't get me wrong, city life is great. Like, we do love being close to things like Costco and stuff like that, but we're only an hour away, and we realize, like, how much do we actually spend outside of the house? We both work from home. Occasionally we'll go out to eat. I mean, everything is so expensive nowadays anyways. How much do we do in the city? And we realized, we were like, we don't need to live here. And that is another catalyst that drove us directly into this decision of moving out to the country with my family. As far as the plan of everything that we have moving forward, like I said, for 5 years, we've tossed around the idea, but for the last 2, it's been official. It's like, yo, let's do this. Right after we bought this house, we knew what our next steps were. So for the last 2 years, we've been working with an architect to come up with house plans to build our forever home out there on that piece of land. But there's things about that that make it super difficult. Like it's probably the worst time you could build a house right now with the housing market, with the cost of materials and everything in between, and interest rates, at least here in America. So there's one reason. The second reason is I'm only 29 and I have to think about the forever of my entire life in this home plan that I'm designing. And we've got it to a point where we're happy with it, but you don't want to rush things like that. You don't want to force that to happen so quickly. But we knew we wanted to be out on the land. So we're still working with the architect and we're still going to plan to build that forever home out there. But the best part about this, in my opinion, is that we've found sort of like a temporary living situation that we can pop up out there, has as much space as we possibly could need. And the best part for me, selfishly, is that the studio space is actually bigger than this studio space. So nothing changes with the channel, nothing changes with our life. We're just out on the land that we're going to be in forever, and we can wait for the right time to finally build our forever home. And we made sure to find a temporary living situation that was really affordable, and that's also gonna help catalyst into the next phase of our life, but also something that we know we can comfortably be in for 2 to 5 to 6 years, however long it may take to actually build that home. I've already said this, but I just wanna reiterate this, that I know this is a very blessed situation. At the same time, everything and anything is possible. You just gotta work for it, you gotta save for it, and you gotta set a goal. And if you can set a goal and you sort of line your compass in the right direction and you do all the right things, you can get to wherever you wanna get to. I mean, within reason. Okay, so now the hard part. The temporary living situation is gonna be out there in like a month and a half. So between now and then, we have to pack our house, get moved to that temporary living situation, get this house ready to sell, and then sell this house hopefully in the next 6 months while we're out there. But with that is a lot of packing, planning, logistics, and just so much stuff that we have to do to get to that next step. It's a major moment of our life. It's super fulfilling, but it's also very, very stressful. And throughout the process of moving and trying to move and planning to move and everything in between, it's been really hard to stay focused and sort of lock into work and lock into videos. I have ADHD through and through. In the last 10 years since I've known that I've had it, I've found natural ways to help cope with it. But in stressful times like this, when there's so much going on, it's so hard to stay locked in, stay focused, and get stuff done. But luckily, Magic Mind has helped me invest into my mental wealth and help me get through this stressful time, giving me a sharp mind, calmer energy, and it's actually reduced my stress with everything going on. I've actually been taking one for the last 14 days every single morning, and I've noticed a huge difference in my day-to-day, especially in my focus and my overall stress levels. Even this week, I was able to crunch out 2 videos for the channel. With everything going on in the past, I'd probably be lucky to get 1 done. Now, this isn't a magic pill for ADHD or really any medical diagnosis. Definitely talk to a doctor about that, but it's just more part of a bigger picture in investing in your mental health. Magic Mind does have a little bit of caffeine in it, but the way that they've formulated the ingredients sort of gives you a time release version of the caffeine, and it doesn't let you crash in the afternoon. As well as the different herbs that they've put in Magic Mind, they help lower stress and lift your mood without damaging your energy. And trust me, I'm someone that loves to take a look at the data and the science and the facts. So I'll make sure to link below some of the studies of the ingredients that are in Magic Mind so you can take a look for yourself and see how effective they are. And over 200 scientific studies are behind every single ingredient. Their ingredients are 100% safe and third-party tested. And they also donate 5 cents for each bottle sold to mental health charities to help U.S. homeless communities. Now, don't take my word for it. You're definitely going to have to try it for yourself. And if you want to try it, they also have a 100% satisfaction guaranteed, so you can get a refund if you don't like it and it doesn't work for you. So if you want to try Magic Mind for yourself and invest in your mental wealth, I'll put a link below where you can get 50% off your welcome pack. Thank you to Magic Mind for helping me get through this crazy time and sponsoring this video. And this isn't supposed to be like a look at me sort of kind of flex thing. I figured if you're watching this video, chances are you're subscribed to me. And if you're subscribed to me and watching this video, chances are you care about this kind of stuff, or at least care about what's going on in the channel and maybe in my life, as weird as that is to say, but still, I figured you would care about something like this. And for me personally, I want to document this journey and do more behind the scenes, unscripted, sort of laid back kind of videos that A, document this journey so I can see it and see how much has changed in the next few years, but also B, give you guys a form of entertainment or inspiration and make more personalized videos for this channel for you guys to watch. And of course, there's still gonna be gear and desk setup videos and all kind of stuff, you know, that I normally make. But the cool part about this move is that there's a whole new studio space that I have to design, trick out, and build from the ground up again. And that's gonna mean a lot of content, a lot of desk setup content, and you guys are gonna get to see that entire journey pretty much. I'm still racking my brain as to how I'm gonna make this sort of space different from this one. I have a few ideas that I've sort of sketched up and made on this really cool app called Furnish Master. This isn't really like a actual final design, but I'm still sort of mapping out how I want this place to be. But yeah, all in all, I'm excited, and maybe in the next video or installment of this series, I'll show you the land and start documenting this process. So definitely look forward to that. But like I said in the beginning, this is probably one of the last few videos that's gonna be in this space. And what's so crazy about this space is it is essentially the reason that I'm even making these videos. If I didn't make that makeover video around a year ago, like, I probably wouldn't be here doing this. And this has changed my life, and this studio space has changed my life, believe it or not. All right, enough of the mushy stuff. I'm excited, and I'm excited to share it with you guys. And if you haven't followed me on Instagram, that's where you're gonna see the most behind the scenes look at everything that's going on and where I can really update a lot more frequently. So make sure to follow me on Instagram. But that'll do it for this one. I'll see you guys on the next one.